Right now, tracking Helene, a major hurricane set to make landfall in Florida soon.
At this hour, we're watching the conditions deteriorate along the Gulf Coast. Preparation time is over.
Make sure I got food in the house, all that.
Next in Helene's path, Georgia. Our team is with those ready to respond.
This is Mark Winnie. The challenge that the Guard faces that it hasn't faced perhaps in years.
This storm is 500 miles wide, it says, and so it could literally, cover the entire state of Georgia.
Live Severe Weather Team 2 coverage starts now.
Live, local, late-breaking. This is Channel 2 Action News at 6 p.m. Coverage you can count on.
Breaking news now at 6 o'clock. We're just hours from a major hurricane making landfall in Florida and then moving quickly toward Georgia. These are just a few of the camera images that we're monitoring right now to bring you live as it happens. Good evening and thanks for being with us. I'm Wendy Corona in for Linda Stouffer.
Evening, I'm Justin Farmer, and here's the latest. Severe Weather Team 2 says that landfall is expected in Florida about 10 tonight as we have this live look from Tampa. And my goodness, every time we go to this shot, it just looks more intense. It is just a bad spot to be. The bridge over the bay there in Tampa just taking a beating, and it's interesting some people are still venturing across.
It's amazing to see. And we recorded that same camera earlier today around 1 o'clock. You can see it's been taking on water and a whole lot of wind for hours now.
Live look now, Midtown Atlanta. Tonight conditions are starting to get a little more I guess we would say a little more intense, just a little darker, a little more cloud cover. Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens asking everyone to go ahead. Tonight's the night. Just get off the roads.
One, because flooding is happening and flash floods are happening, and we want to make sure that you're not stuck. Two, as heavy winds come, debris is flying and you could get hit by a tree limb or a falling tree.
We have live Severe Weather Team 2 coverage across Metro Atlanta as we all prepare for this storm. Let's begin with our Chief Meteorologist, Brad Nitz. He's live in Severe Weather Center 2.
We're preparing right now for an increasing flood threat. This is happening now. Look at this heavy rain, torrential downpours, basically along and east of the I-85 corridor, which is much of Metro Atlanta and North Georgia. The red on the map, tornado watch just to our south and east. That risk, that threat will be lifting to the north as we head through the night. So the potential for some tornadoes as Helene comes through overnight. Look at the rainfall totals already between 1.5 inches downtown to over 4 inches, Pike, Lamar, Upson counties, 3.5, nearly 4 inches in the South Metro in between. This rainfall, these totals that we've already had, not directly related to Helene. So this is just setting the stage for some significant flooding as Helene comes in. Yellow is tropical storm force winds. You can see how huge it is. Hurricane force winds brushing up along the coast of the western Florida peninsula. 120-mile-an-hour sustained winds expected to make landfall tonight, this evening, around 9 or 10 as a Category 4 hurricane, a Category 2 hurricane at 2 a.m. in South Georgia, and then tropical storm conditions, strong tropical storm conditions across Metro Atlanta through the early morning hours, the pre-dawn hours up until 7 a.m. Then some improvement. Meteorologist Ashley Kramlich tells you what you need to do now to prepare.
Brad, you and the rest of Severe Weather Team 2 has been preparing us for Helene over the past several days, and you want to be making these preparations now. You have until about 10 o'clock tonight before conditions start to worsen. You want to be getting non-perishable food from the grocery store, the water bottles as well. I know that's selling out pretty quickly. I went earlier today and they were very low on their stock there. Also filling up your cars, your generators, your batteries, getting the prescriptions that you need because we are expecting extensive power outages that will likely last us through the weekend. Also securing any loose objects around the house and make sure your devices are charged in case you lose power. We will continue to update the exact timing of when these conditions will be worsening for us coming up in just a few minutes.
And schools across North Georgia, they are closed tomorrow because of the damage Helene is expected to bring. That includes Putnam County, Hall, Fayette, Gwinnett, and Atlanta Public Schools. You can see the full list of school closings scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
Want to show you now some new video from hurricane hunters. Here's what these guys do. They fly through hurricanes. Here, through Hurricane Helene this morning. This is how the inside of the storm looked as it was strengthening over the Gulf. The hurricane hunters take flights more frequently as these storms get closer to land, as they're always updating information.
Here's the eye of Category 4 Hurricane Helene starting to move ashore. The center of circulation that defines landfall just minutes away from crossing the coast. Meteorologist Brian Monahan has the updated forecast track. Brian?
Yeah, Brad, you were here with meteorologist Ashley Kramlich through the evening. You were talking about how fast this storm is moving, accelerating to the north and east as a Category 4 major hurricane. Let's go through this new advisory together. Just came in the last couple of minutes from the Hurricane Center. Category 4 wind, 140 miles per hour, making landfall in the next few minutes on Florida's Big Bend.
Severe Weather Team 2 has warned you about flooding with this system, and tonight, George, we're seeing it.
We are, Wendy. Our live Severe Weather Team 2 coverage picks up now with Channel 2's Audrey Washington, right there on Buford Highway in Brookhaven, where emergency workers, Audrey, they're closely watching that situation.
Right, and you know, this is quite a dangerous situation. I just want to walk you guys through this. I want to show you. You can see the lights here. The traffic lights are out along Curtis Drive and Buford Highway here in Brookhaven. And now I want to show you the situation out here. You can see there are some roadblocks there on this part of Buford Highway. And take a look at that white van right there. We actually watched this happen about 10 minutes ago. The driver tried to get through these rising floodwaters, but Mother Nature had another idea. Now that driver is stuck, and as you can see, drivers here just continue to try to make it through these floodwaters, something that police are advising them not to do. Now, this is the situation here along Buford Highway. The northbound lane is closed, but this other lane is open. This all as the waters here continue to rise. Police tell me that if the floodwaters continue to rise like this, they will have to shut this entire intersection down. Take a look at this red car right here. It went past the road closure sign, and look, it's trying to get through these floodwaters right here. This flooding. We don't know if that driver will, see, there you go. It looks like that driver has stalled out. That's what we keep seeing here along Buford Highway. And the police officers, they keep telling drivers, this is why you should stay off the road. You don't want to be like these drivers.
Hey, good morning, folks. I'm Channel 2 Action News Chief Meteorologist Brad Niss alongside meteorologist Brian Monahan. This is an early start to Channel 2 Action News this morning because we want to bring you the latest on this weather situation. You may have been kept up overnight or awakened early. Thanks for tuning in. The band's wrapping around the center of now Category 1 Hurricane Helene in parts of middle Georgia, lifting to the north and starting to take that expected turn a little bit back towards the northwest.
This morning, we are seeing rescues being made as those waters continue to rise. Channel 2's Brian Mims continues our live Severe Weather Team 2 coverage. He's in Buckhead at Peachtree Park Drive. And Brian, I see crews right behind you now.
Yeah, there are firefighters here with their rescue boats. They're standing around this red raft, and just a few minutes ago we saw them bring in a dog. They rescued a dog, and they've been rescuing a number of residents over the last couple of hours. We have some video. I want to show you the swiftwater rescues that have been underway here at the Peachtree Park apartment complex just off Peachtree Road. You'll see the rafts carrying residents of this apartment complex out of their homes. I talked with a firefighter a short time ago. He said they have made maybe 80 to 100 rescues, 80 to 100 people that they have carried out of this apartment complex.
All right, we're going to check in. Channel 2's Richard Elliott is live with Governor Kemp right now to give us an update on what we're seeing across the state and the latest. Richard.
Yeah, I'm joined right now with Governor Brian Kemp. Governor, we're live right now, so obviously want to know any updates. How's people doing? How's the state doing right now?
Well, we got hit really hard last night. Unfortunately, we know we have multiple fatalities that have already been announced. I'm sure that number will go up as we have people we know are trapped that we're trying to get to right now, especially in South Georgia, so we're moving that way as we speak. We've got hospitals without power down south and lots of trees down, lots of people. Got over 1 million or right at 1 million people without power, and so we're just throwing everything we got at it right now, but it was a rough night for sure.
And it looks like it's still going to be a rough day. Even if the storm passes out, we're beginning to see floodwaters rise, and that's a real danger, certainly in North Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of damage, obviously in South Georgia, a lot of trees down, road blocks, you know, trying to get to houses, trying to get to people. And then up here, we've got the flash flood warnings that we're still getting, and then we're starting to see a lot of flooding, and that's going to last for a day or two. So people just need to continue to be weather aware. You know, since we left the mansion to come here, we've had a tree that fell across the driveway.
Richard, we want to take a break because the mayor is holding a news conference right now. We want to listen in right now.
Due to Hurricane Helene, and we have a flash flood emergency in the city of Atlanta. We're thankful in the city that the storm diverted east so that it didn't come as direct over the city of Atlanta, but we did have a lot of rain throughout the last couple of days, and it resulted in flooding, as well as we had some high winds that also led to some trees being down.
Let's switch gears, and Channel 2's Michelle Newell now, our live severe weather Team 2 coverage in Cobb County. We've seen folks in boats behind you this morning. Michelle, what are you seeing there?
We are in the Farmington Place area of Cobb County right now, and right behind me you can see just this entire neighborhood mostly underwater. Wow. We witnessed several people being rescued. Firefighters were out here, rescued about 4 people. I want to show you guys some video we got from earlier. You can actually see a firefighter carrying someone out of her home. Firefighters even rescued a dog, carried the dog out of a home. Neighbors are chipping in to help. And while Mayor Dickens was updating us on everything that was going on, you may have noticed some video of a man on a kayak coming down here, which quite literally looks like a river. I'm going to bring in John. John, you know the guy who was on that kayak. That kayak is right behind you right now. Just what were you thinking as you saw him coming through here?
Just laughing. But I mean, I know this is, you know, it's devastating for families all around, but, you know, it's kind of funny to see him kayak back out of here.
Okay, John, you live further down there, right? You told me you managed to get out before the water rose.
Yes, ma'am. We got out probably around 7:45 this morning. It was probably waist high in the deep areas.
You are watching live severe weather Team 2 coverage of Helene. We are going to have to take a break as they make it to this doorstep to get this family safely out of their home. Amazing. They're going inside perhaps to grab some more items.
Yeah, our producers are wanting us to stay. Let's stay on this shot for a second, just because it's we're here with you, and this is unique to say the least. Not often do you see a boat pulling up to someone's front door. And so this is really emblematic of the amount of rainfall. And look, we have this beautiful city, and when you see our trees and all the vegetation, it's obvious that in the southeastern United States, we get a lot of water. It's just part of our environment. It's typically great. It's what gives us a lot of our beauty. But when we get too much of it, it can be a real challenge. And of course, there are parts of our city and similar cities across the South where when they get too much water, I mean, there's only so much that the systems can handle. And of course, with impervious surfaces, it's just going to back up, and the systems can't handle the amount of rainfall. I'll have to ask Brian Monahan how much we've had in the past 20 hours or so, but we'll get that figure for you because it's a significant number.
Good time to remind you, if you are safely at home somewhere where you are out of danger, send us your pictures. We'd love to see what's going on in your neighborhoods. You can send them to news tips at WSBTV.com or any way to get them to us, video, pictures, because we want to see what's going on all over Metro Atlanta. We know we're focused right now on this area of Northwest Atlanta. We're told the areas that usually flood around the AU Center, Cabbagetown, no problems there right now, which is some good news.
Oh, this is heartbreaking. I mean, you see it looks like a child there. I mean, this is a family. And look, I mean, in an insurance situation such as this, the repairs, you're talking about months, if not longer, for these folks to get back to their home. So they're going to have a major transition in their lives, and schools and sports and all that will be resuming next week, but they're not going to have normal. And many folks are in their same situation, are just going to be burdened with, an act of God event.
Yeah, normalcy for several people, hundreds of, perhaps thousands of people will be quite different now. This weekend, while the weather's better, the sun is out, there's still this to deal with.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people tomorrow will be thinking, wow, that was something, and moving on and enjoying the Georgia-Alabama game. But be mindful that folks who live close to you, around you, or certainly share your city or state with you, there are a lot of folks who are going to be, at a minimum, burdened by what's happened.
If you're just joining us, this is a rescue from a home in northwest Atlanta, and we have seen them in Cobb County. We have seen them all over. So this is very touching to watch as this family has to leave their home.
Yep, it's a big transition, and it's just been an immense amount of rain, but fortunately the system's moved out. It is to our neighbors in our neighboring states to the north. You've been watching a special edition of Channel 2 Action News and our Severe Weather Team 2 coverage of Helene sweeping through our state and then specifically the metro Atlanta area. Just an immense amount of rainfall, and you're seeing now folks getting out there and getting rescued, neighbors helping neighbors. Georgia Power has 17,000 crews fanned across our entire state trying to address approximately 1 million customers currently without power. If you have trees down, Atlanta's mayor says call 311. That's the city's service line. Pick up your phone, call 311. It may take them a while, but call 311 if you need help on your property. With Karen Greer, I'm Justin Farmer. You've been watching Channel 2 Action News. We're going to take a quick break, and our coverage will continue after this.
And we've learned that at least 6 deaths are connected to Helene. In Florida, 1 person died when a street sign actually fell and hit the car they were in. Let's check in now back here at home with our Barrett Peterson, who is in Athens now. He had some dramatic pictures to show us as well. Barrett, what are you seeing as the sun is up and, wow, big trees behind you? I can hear the chainsaws as well.
Yeah, we're in the Cedar Creek community of Athens, and Helene absolutely hammered this place. There are huge trees down all over this neighborhood, like this stately old oak. This one had to be a 90-footer. Folks are telling me 80, 90-foot, 100-foot, 100-year-old trees are very common in this neighborhood. I want to show you I'll run up here and show you the root ball here. I bet this root ball on this hook is taller than I am. Let's check it out. Yeah, it is. So it's not only this one. Let me see if I can get up here. Yeah, so there's a root ball here. There's a root ball on the other side of this tree. Look over here on the other side. So we have not one tree down, but there are 2 trees down. And over here, the neighbors have taken matters into their own hands. This fellow just came up, chainsaw, armed with a chainsaw. He's taking charge and trying to get cleared what he can now.
You're watching Channel 2 Action News here a little past 11 a.m. on a Friday, and we're so pleased to be joined by Chief Meteorologist Emeritus, our friend Glenn Burns. Glenn, on events such as these, where something so significant is happening, it's always great to see you. What your perspective of Helene as it ripped through Georgia?
It was an incredibly powerful storm. Once it got through what's called a loop current out in the eastern part of the Gulf of Mexico, really warm water. It was like throwing basically gasoline on a fire. That's how much this exploded from just a 1, and in just a few hours, it was a powerful Category 4 storm. Now, the good news was that it moved a little further east than the official track from the National Hurricane Center. The European model really had a good handle on this and more focused on eastern Georgia.